Suddenly we're beset on all sides, and someone out of the blue comes to save us. That's the Mississippi King, by the way, welcoming y'all back to more Let's Play Mega Man 5. So, yeah, welcome back, Mississippi Dukes. In the last episode, we beat the last 4 Robot Masters, and in this episode, we're gonna die, well, obviously, but...
I hope I don't speed this crap up. Excuse me. Anyway, one thing that I feel I should have explained that I didn't in the last 2 episodes, this game actually introduces an M-Tank. And what's the M-Tank do? Well, it doesn't tell you. That would be that freaking Robot Master! It's not Robot Master, what I'm saying. The boss is Wily 2. No, this isn't Wily. What am I talking about? The Proto Man Stage 2. So, this boss gym is ridiculously easy, so I'm proving myself once again to be the Armond White of video game difficulty. I'm dying a bunch of times to what is perhaps the easiest boss in the entirety of Proto Man Castle. But yeah, as I was saying, the M-Tank actually restores all of your life, as well as all of your weapon energy. So I believe you can only carry 1, but that's the thing, I'm not totally sure. But anyway.
Yes, finally! It's done! But it also has some other effects, of which I'll be showing off in the next video. I'm not actually going to be using it in Proto Man Castle, or like in the next, like after I'm done with the game, that is. I'll like have a bonus section at the end of the next episode where I talk about that stuff. But this next stage is pretty easy, and one thing I feel I should have also mentioned, they changed Rush Coil. It's just, and the thing with that is, like, I've got no problem with them changing Rush Coil, but it's just, why? I mean, I have a problem with what they've changed it to, because it's like, what have they done to you, Rush? Rush used to be cool back in Mega Man 3, now it just looks pathetic. And that's annoying. And it doesn't really add much. In fact, it kind of detracts from it, and I realize there are some instances in which it can be useful, like more useful than, say, a spring, but still, that is just not good. That is... Why would you do that? That's wrong! Oh, and on a side note, why did I say that the boss of the previous Proto Man stage is the easiest in this castle? It's not. I mean, that would be the coming boss fight. I mean, don't get me wrong, the previous boss was easy, and it is pretty embarrassing that I died multiple times to that boss. But, the second boss is actually the easiest. That's the one that's coming up later on in the stage. It's pathetic. You can, like, dodge it with ease, and it's not a problem. Seriously, it's not even funny. Like, seriously, he doesn't even shoot at you. It's so easy. Oh, and also, here's Rush Coil in action. Like, see, that just looks so stupid. It's like, why did you make that change? It's not good. It's not like I use Rush Coil a whole lot, but still, that's just not good. Also, an interesting tidbit about the Robot Master, no, I mean the Proto Man boss for this stage. Apparently it's actually the prototype for the Dark Man series of robots. So that's interesting, although why is it called Dark Man 2? That is so weird. And why would you put him here? Because he's the easiest boss. Like, Why put the easiest boss second? It'd make more sense to make him the boss of the first Proto Man Castle. The first Proto Man stage. You know what I mean. But that just doesn't make any sense. Like, the difficulty curve is, like, kind of weird. It'd make more sense, but I don't know. The tiger enemies are kind of annoying. I mean, I think there's a weapon that can take them out fairly easily, but I forget what it is, so pardon that. But the boss of this Proto Man stage shouldn't be much of a problem, and if I die to this, then that's when you know I'm the Armond White of video game difficulty. Because seriously, he's pretty easy. He doesn't even shoot at you. It's ridiculous. So, he just walks at you, and you can just spam your weapons to take him out without any fight. Like, seriously? This is supposed to be harder than the first boss? Like, no, I don't think so. First boss is easy, and actually I think the hardest is the third boss, so, yeah, I think the fourth boss of Proto Man Castle is, that's even easier than the third, so, again, your difficulty curve is messed up, and I guess I didn't die to him, so, yeah, some things are so easy that they transcend even Armond White, or the Armond White of video game difficulty. But, anyway, the next stage kind of starts off really annoying because you're constantly barraged by annoying Pizza Joes. That's what they're called, isn't it? The Pizza Joes? Maybe they're called Red-Eyed Joes. Even though they ain't got red eyes. Why do they call them Red-Eyed Joes, then? That doesn't make any sense. Capcom, you are terrible at naming things! And so, yeah, that stage is really annoying because them Red-Eyed Joes their patterns are erratic and they're annoying to predict. I hate them, they're freaking annoying. However, they are not as annoying as the big guys in this game. I still don't know what they're called, but yeah, they're the ones that, like, slam down. I hate them. Maybe a good strategy to avoid them is to just, like, slide under them. I'm not sure. But, this stage is pretty easy besides that annoying part. Like, seriously, I hate enemies with erratic, unpredictable patterns. That's so annoying! And, like, so that's one thing that can make this stage a bit of a nuisance, but yeah, I do generally enjoy the Proto Man stages. They provide some interesting challenge, and they're not too annoying. And certainly they're not, they don't contain very many or, like, any horrible design decisions. I can't really think of any beginner's traps or any horrible stuff that they pulled in like, the first Mega Man game, and there's no copy and paste level design, which I hated that about the first Mega Man game. I just hate lazy design. Like, seriously, who thought that, like, it would be perfectly acceptable to just put two rooms that look identical to one another right next to each other, or, like, a Cutman stage? That's one thing I noticed looking back at it, because I was recently seeing a video of, like, NCS going up against attacking toucans, and, like, the NCS was doing Cutman's stage, and attacking toucans was further behind, but anyway, attacking toucans was at a part in the stage where, you know, they ran into like a screen that looked like identical to the previous one. Well, not the previous one, but they looked at like the exact same screen but with different enemies. It's just like that they reused the same screen and later on in that part, so the copy and paste level design is arguably even worse than I thought. Like, seriously, I hate that about the original. And that's why I can't recommend it to newcomers. It's not that I find it to be hard, although some people would find it to be pretty difficult. It's that it's not very well designed. It's a fun game, despite its terrible design decisions and the lazy design, but that's not really what I'd recommend for newcomers. And it kinda sucks in that regard, but there are worse games in the series, and honestly, I'd arguably recommend it over this game, although, I don't know, I mean, this game is easy, it's like the easiest in the series so far, so I guess in that regard it may be more welcoming to newcomers, but then again, I don't find Mega Man games to be hard in general, so maybe I'm not the best judge. Nevertheless, I do still enjoy this game, and so I suppose like as I've said, I suppose this wouldn't be a bad game to introduce a Mega Man fan to, because as I've said before, if this were my first Mega Man game, I probably would think this game is incredible. But it's not really my first, and of course I've had experience with the previous games. It's just not something that I really hold in as high regard as, say, like Mega Man 2, 3, or 4. And yes, I am still insisting that 4 is not as bad as people say it is. Well, I mean, I don't know if people really say it's bad, but they say that it's like, it's where the series got stale. And it's not! I insisted that this is where this game that is stale. And honestly, it's probably one of my lowest ranked Mega Man games in the entire series, but it's certainly not a bad game. It's well designed from a technical perspective. It just lacks a lot of the charm found in many other games. But nevertheless, it is still enjoyable. And now it looks like we're about to fight Proto Man himself, not his armies. And so this final stage in Proto Man Castle is pretty short. It's kind of interesting because you have like these various things that hold the floor up, and like you need to destroy like the columns in order to continuously rise. And so that's kind of interesting. And like the more you destroy, the more it will rise. So it's now time to actually face off against Proto Man himself. And what was that? That doesn't sound like Proto Man's whistle at all. So it seems that someone has been impersonating Proto Man. I wonder who could have created this robot. That's a real mystery, folks. Yeah, I think everyone knows who created him, but I'm going to remain silent until the fight is over. I mean, y'all will soon see, shortly enough. It's a pretty easy fight. You just use beats to destroy him, and it should go down without any problem. Without much of a fight. that must mean we've beaten the game, folks! So yeah, this was fairly short, only 3 parts, just like the original.
You've done well, Mega Man. I never expected you to defeat my powerful Dark Man robot. Until now, I have managed to train Proto Man for my crimes. But now the real Proto Man has appeared and spoiled my plan. Dr. Light is a captive in my lab. Come, if you dare.
Wait, what? Dr. Wily was behind it all this time? Who would have thought? So, now that we know that's out of the way, does that mean that Crystal Man dislikes his creator? It actually said that Crystal Man despises scientists. So, does that mean he dislikes Dr. Wily since he created him? But, yep, it was Wily after all. Not much of a surprise, but, well, I guess that'll be it for this part. Join me next time for the finale of Let's Play Mega Man 5, where we'll finish Wily Castle and beat the game, and I'll show off some interesting stuff later. See y'all then. This is the Mississippi King signing out.